Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the safari out here in the Eastern Cape Bushveld at Amakhala Game Reserve. I hope everybody is doing very well this morning. Good morning, my name is Andrew, and I still have Paul, who's behind the camera. And we've decided to start off with a little bit of track and sign this morning, which I think is quite appropriate because I know Steve just showed you a honey badger track, which is quite nice. Now, this one, very similar to a honey badger. A lot of people get them wrong. I'm just going to put my Leatherman there just to show you the size. And I've drawn a little heart here for all of you, just to say I love you all. This one, very similar to a honey badger, but a little bit different. This particular species that we're looking at here is called the porcupine. And if I have a little stick here just to point out little things here, this is what we call a proximal pad. There's another proximal pad, another one over there, with of course the digits and then fairly long nails. Now, if this was a honey badger, it would look a little bit different. Okay, so you'll have the main pad and only one proximal pad. Then you know you're dealing with a honey badger, and of course the honey badger's tracks or the nails are going to be much further apart from the digits. Right, so we've managed to find a magnificent elephant bull here, and he is in must. So myself and Paul, we've made sure that we have parked quite a nice distance away from him. We don't want him to try and approach us. And there he is, just crossing the road with a little bit of a takeaway, a bit of vegetation that he's just walking along with over there. Now, if you can see the temporal glands are leaking, but I'm not seeing too much urine on the back legs. But we will still say that this bull's in must. It does look like a collie, just by the look of him and sort of the shape of the tusks. Definitely does look like collie. There we go, just facing head onto us now. That's quite nice. You can see the tip of the trunk is a little bit wet. Almost like this elephant had a drink of water at some points, but this is from all the dew that's on the vegetation. See, it does seem that way sometimes when they're gently walking through the bush with no cares in the world. It seems like it's in a slow motion fashion. Yeah, it does really seem like that. But their stride, the distance between the front and the back foot is very long. And so if an elephant has to walk and not really stop, but also walking slowly, they can cover large amounts of distances in no time, really.
There's always a group of bulls that are the dominant breeding bulls within a herd that are constantly pushing and shoving each other. There's a constant dominance between them. And that goes on all the time until eventually they get old and tired and just fed up with the whole process. And when a herd moves on, it's not uncommon for a couple of these older boys to just decide, oh, there's good feeding here, there's good water, I'm just going to stay right where I am. And one of the dangerous parts of tracking a herd of buffalo on foot is the fact that you might have some stragglers in the form of these old and grumpy bulls who are quite cantankerous, to be honest. You can see just the body language of the one on the left there. He's going to smash the bush now with his horns, is he? He's probably getting to the stage where he's going to become an old Duggar boy. You can see by the paleness around his face. Oh, he's going to come give us a hard time, PK. What do you think? His tail curled up. Grumpy. His right horn is worn down a little bit. Not playing around. We're not fearful at the moment. We're giving him lots of space. You can also see his bottom is leaking dung. He's at that stage where he's not really in massive control of his bowels, it seems. This might actually even be one of the older bulls we've been seeing around on his own, and the herd has caught what. Sorry about the poles. He is going behind us. It's possible that he is an old bull that has already been isolated, and we've seen him in this area a few times over the last little while, and suddenly the herd has caught up with him. It's possible that that's what's happened.
But it seems like from a little bit of information that's coming in here and there from a few different people, that her cubs have potentially been seen around Pungwe Camp, which is in the Manyeleti Game Reserve. So that's that northernmost property that I showed you on the map. And it would make sense then that she's been moving up and down the entire time. Now, I know the whole pride, actually, including that big male, the 3 lionesses, and the little ones, the 5 little ones that are about a year old, just over a year, they have been seen at Pungwe in the last week. So when they're not on Djuma, they seem to move through Buffelshoek up towards Manyeleti and back again, so traversing across all 3 properties. Now, of course, to them, they don't have boundaries like we do. So for them, it's just another part of their territory, but that shows you how far they've been moving. Kilometers and kilometers up and down. Very impressive.
Here at Baobab Dam, you can see elephant from miles. I mean, they're coming down here. They're moving like ants. They're everywhere in the thicket. And now it's time for them to go down to the water source. It's more important to have a water in front of the lodge, actually, for elephant, because this is one of the species that daily wants water. I mean, in a day, in a very hot day, they can come several times inside this dam, or cooling down the body system, and also having water themselves, because it's really important for them to cool the body system, and also very important to make sure that the youngster, they're always happy, because without having to be wallow, is animal that really rely on the water or mud. Make sure that the health of the youngster are so good, and also taking all the parasite that might be in the skin, as far as ticks that can be parasiting. Unbelievable. I really love it. We came at the right time, and all this, it will be more than 20-40 elephant in a very short time, because there's still more coming. It really makes me happy seeing all the movement in the thicket of an elephant. Big animal, you can see even from 400 meters, that movement, the tusk whitish in color, you can see there's something coming there. And sometimes at the right time of the year, you can only see the dust if the elephant comes in numbers, as they are at the moment. Amazing. It will also give us a little bit of more info. Where is the biggest elephant? It's still mating or not? As we know that they can mate only for 4 days. I think it's towards the end. There's no aggression anymore from these big elephants. Oh yes, they're coming. I can see 2 of them. They're still trailing the female. It looks like the mating is still going on. The first day and the second day, it tend to be happening in a very short time of a space. But now, as time goes on, you tend to see them they're very slow. Same as in lions and leopard. First day when the lion mate, it will happen after 5 minutes. But as time goes on, it tends to be slower. Same as an elephant. You can see how it works. They're no longer showing that much aggressive from the other young elephant that coming close to the female. It tends to be towards the end, unless if the male, they have to continuously move out of the area and try to finish their mass somewhere else, because it can last at least 6 months for a male elephant to be in mass.
The turnaround of the seasons, we're starting to feel it with definitely the change in daylight time. The amount of water and the greenness of the vegetation isn't a very good indication of the time of year here. But it'll be interesting to watch how dramatically it changes over the coming weeks. If our buffalo remain around, and if we don't get any more rain, we'll quickly see how fast vegetation goes from this bright green to brown. Well, everybody, what a wonderful way to start my stint back. I wanted to visit some lovely buffalo. Nice to have the Lioness this morning up at Baobab Dam for Tess and Rexon. Thoroughly enjoyed some lions and then some elephants. We'll be out again this afternoon doing what we do best. Hopefully we'll be able to track down any sign of those wild dogs. But from all of you out there, thank you for joining us this morning on the Sunrise Safari. We do thank you for your questions, your comments. We'll be coming to you live once again from all of our wonderful locations, same time this afternoon. Till then, have a wonderful day, good day, and goodbye.